Alright, what up, people? It's your boy Chig from Gooner Evil Eye, coming to you again to review the match from yesterday where Arsenal went to Old Trafford to take on Man United. And yeah, before I come on to the match, because I've got a lot to say about this match, let me give a couple of thank yous. First of all, thank you to Liam at Gooner News TV for having me on to do a preview of the game. I know a lot of you have already seen my one with Stel, who's my other thank you, by the way. But I'll come back to Stel. So I did a preview of the game with Liam and Colin and Tops. Always great talking to those guys. So that was good. That was enjoyable. So thank you, Liam, for having me on your show. Unfortunately, I couldn't do a review on there because of my third thank you. So I'll come back to my third thank you. My second thank you goes out to Stel. Recently learned it was his birthday this weekend. The guy didn't even mention it to me at any time. So a happy belated birthday. Hope you enjoyed yourself. Got very, 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 very pissed. And you had a good weekend, mate. I hope to have you on again soon. Probably with Robbie to do some sort of mid-season review. Just that these guys are busy as hell. You heard Stel talk a little bit about his show and some up-and-coming plans. Do go check it out. It's very, very enjoyable. Yeah, that's for Stel. My third thank you goes out to Mems. Was able to have a good conversation with the panel on there on Arsenal Fan TV, in particular Arsenal Fan Extra. Always a good show. Genuinely one of my favourite football review shows, alongside probably Gooner Talk. Yeah, it's always really good to hear from fans and hear what they think. And because they do it straight after the game, much like my emotions on there, I'm the second to last caller, by the way. It's always really raw when you call on there and you express your emotions. And probably on hindsight, maybe I should have done my video yesterday, because you would have seen a very, very angry me. I kind of calmed down a little bit, just a little bit. But I've got a lot to say about yesterday's game, and none of it's going to be particularly positive. So I've learned very quickly about Twitter is if you are too negative, people attack, and boy, do they attack. So right after my appearance on Arsenal, I say appearance, right after my call on Arsenal Fan TV, I sent a tweet out. You're supposed to be a joke, a half joke, where it basically says something on the lines of Aaron Ramsey must have pictures of Arsene Wenger either taking coke or fucking a donkey, because I don't understand how this man keeps starting games. Wenger would put him in goal if he could. A lot of people seem to like it. Got a lot of love, got a lot of likes, got a lot of retweets. But as per usual, when you get a lot of something, you also get the other side of something. And you have these Wenger in people, right? Listen, I am what you would describe as a soft Wenger out. You know, I'm not going to insult the man. I'm not going to diss the man. I'm not overly see talking shit about Arsene Wenger. Having said that, I am of the belief that he should go. I do believe that the game has passed him by. And in my opinion, everything that happened yesterday demonstrated my frustrations with the man outside of the transfer window. Everything. Let's go into it. Let's go into the game, because I'm not going to talk about those things at end, guys, because they kind of were getting at me and saying, oh, you're not really a supporter because I dare to criticize Aaron Ramsey, which is the biggest load of nonsense I've ever heard in my entire life. Having said that, let's go into it. So I started watching this game, a game that for some reason I did not have a good feeling about. I know I made a prediction to you guys. I said it would be 2-1. But I'm not going to lie to you. I said it because I like to back my team. Very rarely will you see me predict anything less than a win. Deep down, I thought it would be a draw. And deeper down than that, I was worried we could lose. But I backed my team to carry on our Chelsea form into that game. And in my opinion, we produced the worst performance of our season. And the only two performances that can rival that is probably the first half against PSG, where I thought we were horrendous. And then Liverpool. But at least with Liverpool, we ended up scoring 3 goals. And at least with PSG, our performance got much better in the second half. How do I describe this game? So we went into this game. First of all, in the entire game, we had 1 shot on target. So that gives you an indication of how poor we were. We looked nervous. We looked shook, particularly for the opening 10, 15 minutes. We looked like a deer in the headlights. We had no clue what was happening. Sorry, prior to that, let me start again. So we come to the team sheet. Now, I honestly believe Wenger has been getting it right very recently. But I am also of the belief that Wenger has been getting it right for the simple reason that he's not had his usual go-tos. His usual go-tos are usually Ramsey and Giroud. Now, Giroud, I'll give him more credit because Giroud has been fit for some time and he still keeps that guy on the bench. So fair enough. But with Ramsey's the one that seems to upset our balance of the team because he insists on shoehorning him into the team, even at the team's expense. And yesterday was a very good example of that. Now, you guys know I picked I picked yesterday's team, except I picked 2 changes that I felt would have given us a little bit of oomph. I put Xhaka alongside Coquelin, and I actually stupidly said I don't see Wenger starting El Nene. So I thought Xhaka alongside Coquelin because I didn't think Santi was ready. I think if Santi was ready, Santi would have started that game. So I think in the absence of Santi, I thought he would try and match physically with potentially what Man United would have in the middle. And then I felt on the left-hand side, he would go with Iwobi, despite the fact that even I can accept Iwobi has had a shocking couple of weeks. But I just felt like against an inexperienced back four who are a little bit unsure of himself, he may have some success. I mean, I know Valencia is a decent player, but a right back, he isn't. He just happens to play that position fairly well. But because he's not a natural right back, more often than not, defensively, you heard Stel say it in my preview video, that defensively he does tend to go missing. So I felt like the way forward would be to put Iwobi there, in spite of the fact that, yes, I understand Iwobi hasn't been in the greatest of form. But I think if you put Iwobi there, he may be able to cause problems. Or at the very least, put Ox there. Put a winger there who's going to challenge that defense. Because that defense ain't good. It's not good. In spite of the fact that you hear that we had 1 shot on target, you think, blimey, Man United must have been on their A game defensively. No, they flipping weren't. We were just rubbish. And that isn't me being overly negative. Go and watch the match. We were just rubbish. We were. We just were. And then, for some weird reason, I saw Ramsey in the team sheet. So I thought to myself, well, you put Ramsey and El Nene in the team. So I'm guessing Ramsey must go right, and Theo must go left. And funny enough, for those of you on Twitter who already know this, Twitter, they released like a starting team sheet, almost caption or meme, if you like, showing what the starting lineup would be. And they had Theo on the left-hand side. So all of us thought to ourselves, all right, well, I don't particularly like this idea, but maybe Ramsey's in there because, you know, the last time Jenkinson played in Old Trafford, he had a shocker. And against Martial, there could be some problems. Maybe we put Ramsey in there, potentially could help Jenkinson out. I wouldn't have done it, but I can see the logic, I guess. No. No. For some weird reason, Ramsey played out left. I could even accept Ramsey playing next to Coquelin. At least that's his position. I don't like Ramsey, but at least that is his position. Why would you play him? To be fair to Ramsey, why would you play someone that much out of position and expect a good performance? And he was by far and away our worst player. I mean, I'm about to do player rankings right now, but I'll tell you for free, Ramsey got like a 2. He didn't do anything. I don't think he made one telling pass that wasn't sideways. Like, people keep insisting, telling me that, oh, Ramsey potentially is like a cess, that he can really influence games. I am yet to see this. I think in his best season, the things Ramsey was good at doing was ghosting past players. And ghosting past players and arriving at the box late. And that season was 3 years ago, mind you. He ain't done that for some time. So I don't understand why Ramsey warrants this constant starting place. I said it to the boys the other day. Ramsey's making me miss Jack Wilshere, to be perfectly honest. And I know a lot of you hard Arsenal fans might say, "Oh well, you should be missing Jack anyway." Listen. Let's be honest. You know, if we're honest, then we're taking nostalgia out of it. Does Jack get a starting place prior to this season? Did he get a starting place in many of your teams? Come on. Having said that, man, we could have used a Jack in this game. Someone who could have potentially used the ball, almost do what Santi does, but in Jack's way. Jack would have been perfect for this game. He really would have been perfect. And he played pretty well for Bournemouth yesterday. Hit the post and everything from a good shot. But man, it was such a frustrating game. Let's go into the player rankings because I can only bitch about this so much. So I thought Cech made a couple of really good saves. And was Cech really. I had a frustration with him that I actually mentioned on Arsenal Fan TV yesterday. And that was, there was a point in the game where it was like 88th minute and we just equalised. And essentially, let me just tell you the story. So we had like essentially a really bad first half where we didn't create anything. We looked like we were being bullied. Our front four was just anonymous. But our defense was holding up, to be fair. We had some shaky moments with Jenkinson, but generally our defense was holding up. And then in the second half, when you expect it to get better, in my opinion, it got worse. Until for some reason, Wenger decided not to bring on subs at halftime like I would have, or bring on subs at the 60th minute like most people would have, or bring on subs in the 70th minute like he normally would. He waited until I think it was the 72nd or 73rd minute to then bring on Giroud and then bring on Ox. And it was a combination of the two that eventually got us that goal. I think it was in the 82nd minute, 83rd minute. And then you think to yourself, all right, cool, as an Arsenal fan, we just equalised. And then there was a point where Cech basically collected the ball. and he's holding on to the ball, and you think to yourself, right, you've just collected the ball, you've run to the edge of the area, you clearly want to release this ball, throw it at someone, set us on an attack quickly. Let's see if we can go and get our winner, our very undeserved winner. But let's just see if we can go and get our winner. Clearly, United are now shook. They're very disappointed. Maybe we can hit them with a quick 1-2 goals. Nothing. Held on to it, held on to it. Caution, caution, caution. Safety first nonsense. And that was so disappointing to see, because then what ended up happening was it just petered out into a draw. A draw that ultimately won't help us. I mean, at the moment, you're probably looking at wondering, why do I keep glancing? At the moment, Middlesbrough and Chelsea are playing. At the moment, it's 0-0. They win this game, they're top. Not only are they top, I think they'll end up being 4 points ahead of us. And it's just the same old crap with Arsenal every single season. What is it that we can't seem to beat this ridiculous hoodoo of ours that Jose has over us, that Old Trafford has over us? Again, player ratings. Check, I'll give 7 out of 10. Jenkinson had a real shaky start. I ain't going to lie to you. I was getting increasingly concerned. But then began to settle down. I think with Jenkinson, you're probably not going to get the best out of him until he's played maybe 5 games back to back. And if Bellerin is out for as long as we suspect it will be, which is minimum a month, may miss the Man City game, I think you'll probably start to see the best of Jenkinson kind of as we go on. Jenkinson, what I do like about his qualities, I think defensively, he once he is up to top speed, and I know my statement now is going to sound silly because of yesterday, but I think once he is up to top speed, remember, this man's coming back from a year out, apart from anything, and then he's also had a year away from us. It's going to take him time. So I think once he is up to top speed, I think you will see him improve, and I think potentially, especially when Giroud inevitably gets the starting spot back, I think you will see him get better. So he's a good cross of the ball, and I think potentially between him and Giroud, there could be a lethal combination there. So I'd give him a 6. I won't be too harsh. I'd give him a 6. Mustafi, you guys know I'm a harsh critic of Mustafi. I'm not all the way sold on Mustafi the way most people are. I think with Mustafi, I think what people are in love with is his pace. He does have good pace. I don't think he's blisteringly quick. I think Son showed you that. He's not amazingly quick. I don't necessarily agree with a lot of people when they say that they feel like he's a good reader of the game. I actually think Mertesacker is a better reader of the game, to be perfectly honest. But I think what Mustafi is very good at doing is 2 things. He's very good at communicating, and he's very good at recovering. And let's face it, for all my harshness, he is 24. He'll only improve. So that's where probably I need to calm down and just give him some time. So I think you will see the best out of him. It's just I'm not yet all the way sold on him. Not all the way. But yesterday was one of the games where I actually didn't feel he did anything wrong. I thought he did well in large parts. I thought he was a constant nuisance for Rashford. And I thought between him and Koscielny, actually, I'd give them both 7s. I thought they had Rashford on lock, to be honest. Monreal, almost back to his best. There were a couple of times where he made a mislaid pass, or he did something a little bit kind of stupid. He thought to himself, "Oh, Monreal, what's going on?" Starting to worry about that. Maybe I am a little bit concerned about Monreal's form a little bit. Having said that, not bad. Nothing major. Nothing that was a catastrophe. So I'll give him a 6 out of 10. Coquelin I thought was very good. Um, I don't necessarily think Coquelin is the greatest passer. One thing Coquelin is very good at doing is very good at enforcing, cleaning up, last ditch tackles. Made a couple of them yesterday. Um, and I actually think he's a good reader of the game. I do. I don't necessarily think he's the most intelligent player. That's where the two. Well, how could you be a good reader of the game and then not be intelligent? I think generally he's very good at seeing danger. That's what I mean when I say reading the game. So from his perspective, what he's very good at seeing where danger is about to take place and putting himself in a position to to extinguish that danger. Where I think he lacks is his vision of playing the right pass is not there. I think he is a bit of a rash player when he wants to be. Um, and I don't necessarily think he's the most technically sound footballer. But the last couple of weeks, to be honest, he's been one of our best players, one of our consistently best players. I'd give him a 7.5. To be perfectly honest, I'd give him man in a match. 7.5. Was okay. I'm a bit worried about Onene because I'm worried he's falling into the you're quite average tab. Didn't do anything particularly spectacular, didn't do anything wrong. I'm just waiting for a really great performance from Onene, and this weren't it. I think it was compounded with the fact that most Arsenal fans felt like sorry, I don't know. Started loading my computer. Most Arsenal fans felt like Xhaka should have started that game, and when he didn't, and then he did, and there was no real drive from midfield. We were allowing Pogba to kind of tell a lie. Pogba weren't dictating things, but he had a bit too much freedom without us putting a lot of pressure on him. These were things that were causing us issues that I think if Xhaka had been there, he would have given us a little bit more oomph. And there just wasn't any of that from LNA, so I'd give him a 6. You guys know already, I've given Ramsey a 2. I thought he was that bad. He didn't make any telling passes, continuously gave the ball away. It felt like playing with 10 men. It really did. On the right-hand side, I thought Theo was anonymous. He literally might as well have been at the hospital with his missus. I didn't think he particularly did. I think there was one decent defensive driving run that he made. But other than that, I don't think he really particularly did anything yesterday. Was anonymous. Back to old Theo, basically, for yesterday. I'd give him a 5. I think that's being generous. Let's be real here. £42 million or not, Ozil was poor yesterday. And for someone who, out of everybody who potentially had an excuse of international football, Ozil was not one of them. So he should have been fresh. He should have been raring to go yesterday, and he wasn't. So he was poor yesterday, and I've got to give him a 4 out of 10. I thought he was that bad. Alexis, well, I can believe he's injured. I can't. Looking at him yesterday, seeing how heavily strapped that leg was yesterday, seeing how he played, seeing the lack of movement, there is no way I can believe that Alexis is not injured. He tried a few times, but I don't think he moved the way he normally did. Also, gave the ball away a couple of times. If we're honest, I'd give Alexis a 5. Potentially a 4, but a 5. I thought he tried a little bit more than Ozil did, to be honest. If I'm going to give the manager, subs. So, Giroud scored. One thing I will say about Giroud, generally, he really showed great desire to get on the end of that ball. There was nothing or nobody or no United defender that was going to get ahead of him and head that ball, and that was our only shot on target, and a telling shot at that. We needed that. We so needed that. So I give him a 7, and then you've got to give Ox his due. I'm telling you people about Ox. I ain't giving up on him yet. And I tell you why I'm not giving up on him, because of that. Now, don't get me wrong. Probably about 8 times out of 10, he'd mess that cross up. Be honest. 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 times, 80% of the time, he's messing that cross up. But one thing I do like about Ox is in games like that where we're faffing around and passing it sideways in typical Aaron Ramsey fashion, sometimes you just need someone to grab the ball and run at a defender. And that's one thing Ox is very, very, very good at. He has no fear about saying, give me the ball, let me do this, and just run at a defender. And I don't think we have enough of those type of players. It was a great cross. And I've got to give him a 7, because those two were the only two that did something telling for us that led to a first shot on target. So that's why I've given them marks that are so high. 7 out of 10 for both. I know we made a first sub, but I can't even remember who the hell that is. Oh, it was Xhaka, wasn't it? Yeah, he did okay. Didn't really do much. I think by the time he came on, it was kind of like, oh, well, where were you from the very get-go? 5 out of 10. Not necessarily because he did anything wrong, he just didn't have a lot of time to make an impression. The manager today, I'd give him a 5. For being honest, totally wrong team. Total lack of understanding in terms of when to execute a plan B. Tactically got it wrong for, let's be honest, 90% of the match. Eventually made a sub that, yes, got us a draw in the game. But for me, it was passive Arsenal. I think he set up the team to soak pressure up, and potentially get a draw. That team was a team that he wanted. Basically, Ramsey was in there to contain. I don't understand why you put Ramsey, of all people, to contain. By the way, it's not like he even particularly did a good job of helping Monreal on that left-hand side. So what made you think that he would have the intelligence to contain him? And I think the thing that drove people mad and the thing that surprised so many people is, in spite of how bad Ramsey was playing on that left-hand side and just generally in the whole game, for some weird reason, Ramsey completed 90 minutes. Like, what? Why would Ramsey complete 90 minutes? I honestly, I don't get it. I don't understand Wenger's fascination about Ramsey. You know, all right, yes, he scored 16 goals in one season. All right, Adebayor scored 30 goals in one season. What's your point? Like, what's your point? What is your point? And that was the thing that makes me mad when I'm criticized on Twitter for dissing Ramsey. And let's be real here, it's not going to stop me from dissing Ramsey. I genuinely do not get it when it comes to Ramsey. But hey ho. Anyway, it's me done. That's my ranting over. Do let me know what you thought about the game. It seems like, based on my views, that you guys seem to like it when I do videos with people. I'm actually reached out to Colin from Much Arsenal. Again, if you are listening to this channel and you don't know who Colin is, what are you doing? Go and watch. Just type literally Much Arsenal, like MUTCH Arsenal. And just go listen to one of his videos and then tell me you don't want him on this channel. So my level-headedness against his hot-headedness will be a great combination. So we'll probably end up doing some sort of preview video or something. I know he's keen to come on. I'm also keen to see if I can get Tops on here, Brandon Tops, if you're not following him on Twitter or on his YouTube channel. Go follow him. Go listen to his channel. Cool guy. Someone else I'm also planning to have on. Probably seen him a couple of times on Gooner Talk. So I'm planning to have him on. Similarly, I'm still planning to have on Mems at some point. Mems, come on, man. People still think I'm lying when I tell you I'm going to have you on. So I am planning to have on Mems at some point as well. So yes, you're going to get a lot more appearances. Me and Stel have something in the works. Until it's up and running, I won't tell you yet what that is, but me and Stel have something in the works. Probably for early 2017. So get ready, get set for some shit changing. Yeah, other than that, that's me done. So until Wednesday, take care, people. Peace.